I wonder if you've ever had to balance being pregnant and sick while homeschooling. Well, in this video, I'm going to share some major changes that have been happening in our homeschool, what we're going to modify in our homeschool, how we're going to pause it for a little while, and how we have paused it actually in my first trimester, which I'm going to talk about, which was a bit of a train wreck actually. So for us, it's obviously June, but because we are in Australia, you may not know, in America, this is actually our half year. And so I think for Americans, my understanding is that your half year, is around Christmas time. And our half year is now. But this actually hasn't affected us as much as you'd imagine, and that's because we're pretty eclectic. So I guess my husband and I, we'd always been planning to have a third baby, and so I thought if I can get my son to do a little bit of extra work and we're a few months ahead, then that will be fantastic. And whenever I'm pregnant or if I get sick, I have a bit of a pain condition called fibromyalgia that makes every day a little bit hard, and sometimes it's really bad and we have to stop. Then I thought we can pause if we need to and not feel bad about it. So let me tell you about my first trimester first of all. So obviously I had the feeling nauseous. I'm 35 now. So I'm finding that with every subsequent child, pregnancy symptoms have gotten worse and worse. So I was nauseous, obviously I was tired, but then when I'm tired and I can't get out of bed, I need to be able to walk for my pain condition to go well. I wasn't able to do that, and so my pain condition just it was ridiculous. I pretty much make it to church every week, but I couldn't make it for weeks on end because I was feeling so rubbish. And another really weird thing happened to me. I actually got every time I would go into direct sunlight, my body would get super, super itchy. And so I couldn't even work in my kitchen. I couldn't prepare lunch or dinner if there was sunlight streaming in, because I would just get too anxious. And so this itching was happening all the time, and it getting worse at night. And I do have a history of hepatic cholestasis, which is actually a liver condition where your liver leaks bile acids into your bloodstream. And so what it causes is this insane itching, but it's particularly on your hands and feet. So I had that diagnosed with my first and my second child. So I thought, oh, this must be cholestasis, but it's not doing the hands and feet thing. So I think it was a bit different. And the light sensitivity is something completely new. But I felt so blessed though, because my doctor prescribed polaramine, which is an antihistamine, and I take that in the evening. And the itching, since the second trimester, it's just not anywhere near as bad as it was, and it's not disabling, and I can go out and garden, which is something that I really love. But it was really hard to do the videos. I remember thinking I was feeling sick every time I even thought about doing a video or writing something. And it was really hard to homeschool, but what I'm really thankful for is we've got video lessons. And so I could just set my child up with the video lessons and he would watch that when I was feeling sick, although we did pause for a significant period of time just because I was like, I can't even do that. But when he was doing the video lessons, what I did find is that I do need to keep a little bit of an eye on him, just because he can be a little bit lazy. So if he wasn't lazy and he was keeping up with things and he was doing everything properly like he should have done, then it would have worked really, really well. But I found that I kind of needed to keep an eye on him, and I've taught him the lesson that he needs to be diligent even when I don't have my eyes on him as well. And so we picked up again in the second trimester, and he's been so much better. He's been doing really well with his reading. I'm really just proud of the little bud at the moment, I think. And Penny's going to start her homeschool curriculum. It comes out on the 1st of July, BJU Press. She's really looking forward to it. She got a, hang on, I'll show you what she got in it. Or I should say rather who she got in it. This is Max. So her homeschool curriculum K4 came with a puppet dog, which I thought was pretty cute. Look at that. So she's so excited. I don't think I would have done kindergarten, but because she's so excited about it, I was like, I'll do it. She's ready writing P. She's like, what you know, how do I write a P? And so she's got P down pat. I don't know about anything else. P for penny. Okay, something I really struggled with in the first trimester was feeling guilt over not socializing my little boy. Just the fact that we were at home most days and I was just too sick to see anyone. People would ask if they could come over or if I was coming to this or that, and you know, sometimes I wasn't even going to church. So my husband, he'd take the kids to church on a Sunday and sometimes he'd do stuff with them on a Saturday. But yeah, I just wasn't able to do anything. It was, it's been one of the hardest seasons in my life, I have to admit. Yeah, really humbling, which I think is a good thing for me, because I think that like anyone, I'm prone to get quite proud sometimes. So I'm really thankful God humbles me in that way. Sometimes I ask and I pray and I'm like, God, please humble me, but please be really, really gentle. Yeah, I don't know. Has anybody else felt that sense of guilt at not, maybe at a time when they physically weren't able to do and get out there? Another thing I felt bad about was, I ended up asking a lot of my friends to actually come and visit me. I'm bringing their kids because I was like, oh, I need them to socialize. And I told them what was going on. And so many of them are like, you know, go have a rest in the back room. We'll hang out with the kids. And I just had so much beautiful help from church and church friends. It was quite overwhelming. The other thing we weren't able to do was get out for exercise and just go to cafes, which we normally do lots of, was not happening. Another big encouragement that happened in my first trimester was we actually got 2 years of homeschool registration. So our Homeschool Inspector, which is kind of our New South Wales authorized person for our state, actually comes out and does a homeschool visit, and he kind of makes sure you're doing all the curriculum that you're supposed to do. So it can be quite stressful for some people, but I think I'm just very onto it, and we're doing lots more than we need to be doing. And I think he heard about my situation. He's like, goodness me, you're pregnant and you're trying to do all this stuff. He's like, just have a break, just press pause, just stop homeschooling for a little bit. And so that was really freeing coming from the Homeschool Inspector, because he said, if you don't, he said, the consequence is burnout. It can happen really easily. And he said he's seen it in a lot of parents. So I just feel a huge amount of pressure has fallen off me, that I can stop and I can resume when I'm feeling better. And I have been feeling better because it's the second trimester, but I'm well aware that the third trimester is only a month and a half away. And so I think that I just have to be really wise and plan for that. I think what we'll do is we will pause again for a good couple of months, or we will just take it really, really easy. Again, that's the advantage of the video lessons, is that their teacher kind of does it for me, which I really love. And then when we have a newborn, I tend to feel quite good and quite energetic. So I suspect things probably won't slow down a little bit there. We will see. I'm just thinking of what's happened with my previous two children. They've both been really good sleepers, but then again, you never can tell, can you? How is my son reacting to a pause in homeschool, you may be asking? He is loving it. During the day, we usually listen to audiobooks. I think I'll link below the audiobook list he listens to. He really, really loves this one. He's like, which new one are we gonna listen to today? And then my daughter Penny, for some reason, she has fallen in love with the Secret 7 audiobook series, which you can find read for free on YouTube. They're fantastic. She always asks for that. So her language is also getting just really, really, really amazing. The other one I'll link below, I really recommend, it's free, is Angela Odell's Real Cool History for Kids. So I'm not sure if it's affiliated with Master Books. I think it is. So she does like a history podcast, and Luke really loves listening to that. It's very gospel centered. So they're going to get the gospel, which I love. I think a child cannot hear enough how God has died for his sins and he rose again, and we now are free to live with him forever. And I think that's beautiful, and a child can't hear it enough. In terms of the insights and lessons I think we've learnt from the last train wreck period of the first trimester, I think I've just learnt that it is okay to pause for a while, to completely drop everything until you're feeling better. And you know, sometimes I think in your head you're like, oh, it could be months and months and months until I'm feeling better, but a lot of the time you just need to pause for a few weeks and get things on track, get your kids to being happy, get you to being well and fit and happy again, and then get started, because trying to work through extreme sickness is just really hard for your children and for yourself. I noticed that when I tried to homeschool through really sick times, I get really impatient with my son, which I hated myself for. And so I think on those days, it's just better to take a break. If you want to have a closer look at what my home looks like with my kids, then I've made a video here, a day in the life of the homeschool mom. Go check it out.